later. Marina's really experienced. So it just kind of shows that when you get to the top, a little mistake or a little second guessing, I guess I'd say I did a lot in that fight. I second guessed myself on a lot of things, even on the ground. I was thinking, should I ground and pound more? Should I go for the submission? Just just go. That's what it's about. We're here to fight and just trust in the process, trust in my training, and that's really what I was able to do in this camp. And I'm excited to fight Tisha. I think that she's a little bit similar as in striking. She has good footwork, kind of like Marina. So I'm happy that I'm fighting someone with a little bit similar style, and I can really try and just correct the things that I messed up in that fight, and you know show that I'm ready. I'm ready to be top 5 up. You know.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're coming back and you're on this main card. Give you some confidence or some belief. Like, they obviously believe in me if they're putting me right back in this position.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know the UFC believes in me. They believed in me before I even had any MMA fight. I was signed on the developmental plan before I had my first MMA fight. So they believed just in my jiu-jitsu. They gave me that opportunity. Of course, I'm growing in basically the biggest organization there is. So I'm still learning. You see, like Rose is developing. Until now, she developed in the UFC. So we can't win them all. But definitely, I feel like I feel they believe in me. I feel the fans believe in me. I feel like I'm learning, and that's the fight I'm going to become. It's just forward and trust my style.
You kind of touched on it, but I wondered if you saw this fight almost as an extension of the last one. I mean, she's been around for a long time, but the style similarity is pretty interesting, right? So, I mean, does it feel like you're kind of just picking up where you left off in that training camp?
Yeah, I mean, different because with Marina, I was doing my camp really focused on Marina. In this fight, this training camp, I just started thinking about Tisha maybe 3 weeks before the fight, 3, 4 weeks before the whole beginning, because I had knee surgery. I really had to kind of hold back a little bit. I couldn't just come in straight and think about, oh, what's Tisha's style? Okay, let me work on, closing the distance, really kind of put me back to the basics. I learned how to simplify things more. Like I said before, in my fight with Marina, I was kind of second guessing a lot of things, so thinking a lot. And I'm an overthinker. I want to be perfectionist. I know the critics think, oh, her takedowns are so sloppy. Oh, she's getting better at the striking, but it's still, you just can't think about it. And so really just simplifying this camp, thinking about Mackenzie, thinking about the basics, my own distance. And now I feel way comfortable, like, okay, when my jab is here, my right hand can, and learning. So really this camp was focused a lot on me and not really Tisha. And I think that's the big difference between my camp for Marina. I was thinking about her right hand, thinking about how she's tall, Tisha's shorter, so I'm definitely excited to be fighting someone my height, a little bit short. I'll have the reach advantage. But yeah, like I said, if I was to fight Carlos Esparza, for example, who's a wrestler, and I just came from a striker, I'm definitely prefer going with someone similar because those mistakes are still fresh in my mind.
Yeah. I wonder, like, how much does your strategy change from fight to fight? Because like anytime somebody fights you, we're asking them, hey, what did you do to get ready for Mackenzie? Because you know what she brings to the table. But for you, like, do you really have to change what you do per opponent, or is it just like, I know if I get them on the ground, it's over?
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. I don't. That's why I don't really strategize too much for who I'm fighting. It's always I'm still just working so much on me to get me comfortable, to get me, not so nervous to be in the firing lane. Because if I want to get to the ground, I got to go in the firing lane. And thankfully, Tisha is someone who kind of blitzes forward, and so I think that's good to have that engagement instead of like someone like Marina, for example, who she's long, she can kind of point and get out and stay on the outside, and I have to really try hard to close the distance. And Tisha, she's shorter, she needs to do that. So I don't strategize too much. Everyone knows the strategy. Oh, I want to submit, I want to take to the ground. I'll throw my hands because that's what I need to get to the ground, and not get intimidated, gain my respect. And I'm just working on getting the best fighter I can be.
Last thing for me, I guess, it's kind of weird because coming off a loss, but it looks like we've kind of got 2 title fights already laid out and lined up, and you win. I mean, you're kind of right there. Do you feel like your next fight could be potentially a #1 contender fight based on the result here?
Yeah, I think a #1 contender fight. Yeah, it depends. I think everything depends. How how this fight goes, if it's like a really close fight, it's hard. Tisha has a lot of decisions, a lot of her fights are very close. So, I mean, I don't know really where that puts, but since I came off a loss and now this fight, hopefully I get the win. Yeah, I would like to have a couple more fights until I go. But yeah, the division's kind of, everyone's basically, Marina just fought, Rose is gonna fight with Carla, so we're waiting to see Joanna and Zhang Weili again. So yeah, we'll see what there is to offer after this fight. But I think if I get and make a big statement on a huge card like this, definitely can be like another contender match after.
Mackenzie over here. I know you talked about the 25-minute fight with Marina and how you were able to learn a lot from that fight. But when you had the loss to Amanda Ribas, it lit a fire under you. It changed a lot of things for you as well. And you bounced back with some of the best performances of your career. Outside of just the growth and getting back to the fundamentals, what has changed since that fight with Marina Rodriguez? What has that done for your competitive fire?
I think with Marina, I think with Amanda Ribas, when I lost to her, I was still coming, finding who I was, coming back into my shape. I was kind of coming back more just for the mental part of it. Like, okay, I can come back, I can still do good, And so I was fired. Like, oh no, I'm gonna show that I'm meant to be here. And Marina was, now I want to show that I'm meant to be a champion. So it's a little bit, I think the next level. Definitely in Marina, I went in like the best physique I could, like physically wise. I did like a really good camp, but you just see that with the top 5 girls, you can't make a mistake because they're the best of the best, and that's where I'm starting to say, okay, I need to tighten everything up, basically, more the details. And that's my focus now, is to be that type of fighter, not just, of course, I'm still going for bonuses, I'm still going for submissions, that's my style, but my motivation is way more like to not make mistakes and understand that these girls have strategy now, and they can afford to lose the first round and then put it on the last round. And me, I'm just go from the beginning until the end and getting my emotions. And so now I'm definitely focused on a different level, on more technical things, and I think more like a mature professional fighter.
You sort of alluded to it, but a lot of people view this fight as, she's the striker. She needs to keep it on the feet. You're the jiu-jitsu practitioner. If it gets down, one takedown, it could be over shortly after. Do you agree with that? Or do you feel like the improvement in your striking things are a lot closer in that department?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that my striking is equaling out, even though I know a lot of people don't think that. I think as soon as she feels my striking, she's going to think like, okay, I have to think about her striking now. One of the compliments that Marina did when we finished the fighting, we hugged each other and she said, man, your striking is getting so much better, after like 5 rounds, mostly 5 rounds standing up, So even though I know she has many more years striking, for sure, I think my striking is way better than my wrestling, So I really think a little bit more even than she imagined. But yeah, I mean, my jiu-jitsu is still the number one for sure. That's it. Good. Thanks, guys.